welcome to another video. This video is just going to be about my 5 likes and 5 dislikes of Cambodia, but just as an intro, I went to the nearest supermarket to me, which I think is owned by Chinese but actually has Cambodians. It's the Riverside Mart in Cambodia. It's at the north end, near the North Bridge. And I actually found boxed red wine from California, Australia. A bit dearer than the Siem Reap version. In Siem Reap, I think it's about $18.50 for 5 litres. I paid $27 for 5 litres. 5 litres is about 6 3/4 bottles, something like that. Anyway, it's still good value for money. And people have said, oh, just buy the bottle of stuff. But some of the bottle stuff, if I bought 6 bottles of wine, but the weight is just tremendous. I mean, it's bad enough buying it in a box, never mind buying the bottles. And now I'm going to get rid of the bottles again afterwards. Anyway, so that's by the by. So this video is going to be in several bits, so you might see me change shirts, etc. I'm going to do this first bit, and so what I've done is I've listed my 5 things I like about Cambodia and 5 I don't really like about Cambodia. So this is just the intro to that video. I'm just going to leave it there now and then do them in order, and I'll put some captions up and you can see where you are. But bye for now, and thanks for watching. I'll record the rest tomorrow, I think. Okay, bye. Right, welcome. Just in the interest of fairness, I'm going to do the dislikes first. So I've got 5 dislikes and 5 likes. Trying to balance it, but they're not in any particular order, they're not in any particular order in importance either. But the first dislike I've got is titled litter. Litter is a massive problem in Cambodia. Whether you're a visitor or an expat, doesn't matter. You will see litter dumps everywhere. And there is a good reason for this. And that reason is it has to be paid for by somebody, usually the litterer. The Cambodian way of dealing with litter is either to dump it anywhere, any bit of spare ground will do, just as long as it's not really seen and doesn't cause too much of a problem, it just gets dumped. In the UK, there's a big problem with litter, fly tipping, etc. It gets dumped in canals, rivers, sea, spare ground, rural areas, you name it, gets dumped there, and it does cause a problem. And it's costly to remove it. In Cambodia, no such thing exists. They just let it go. It doesn't seem to make any difference. And to a Westerner, it does look a bloody mess, and it is a mess. It'll lead on to the second problem in a minute, but let's just say that the litter comprises of a lot of plastic, a lot of half-eaten food, so I'll leave it at that. But litter is everywhere. They sometimes burn it in Cambodia, and you will often smell burning plastic or burning food waste in the air as you walk along the streets. There's nothing you can do about it. That's the way they've done it, and they've done it for years and years and years. Anyway, that's the bit about litter, and I'm just going to leave it at that. That's the bit about litter. Right, I'll come on to the next bit in a minute. So the next big dislike is plastic. I've got a degree in chemistry and I've hated plastic for a long, long time. It doesn't degrade, and the cheaper the plastic, the less it degrades. Anyway, so Cambodia uses an inordinate amount of plastic. Ridiculous. Cambodians deal with it either by dumping it on the roadside, any spare ground, etc., as we've covered in the last bit of the video, and the early bit of the video, I mean, or to burn it, and you will see a lot of it burnt, and you can often walk down the street and smell it burning, etc. I don't know what the answer to it is. I mean, it's even a problem in the UK and other Western countries that there is a lot of plastic, and as I said, it doesn't degrade. So what do you do with it? In Cambodia, they just tend to dump it, and nobody seems to care until it fills up with plastic, and then what do? I don't know. They've got a real big problem then. I don't like a lot of plastic in use. The West is trying to get rid of using it. Asia's not. Anyway, and that's really short bit of video. Okay, see you in the next bit. Okay. Number 3 on my list of dislikes are the rats. In Kampot, where I am, there don't appear to be any pigeons. I haven't seen a pigeon. There's quite a lot of sparrows, but there's a lot of rats. I think the problem with the rats is that probably to do with the litter that's thrown about, because a lot of the litter is half-eaten food, etc. And the rats, they're around the food outlets, a lot of them, and they're quite brazen rats. They seem to have lost their fear of humans. I think they're still afraid of us, but they will tolerate us. And the worrying thing about rats is that they carry a rather, well, they don't carry it, but the urine carries a rather serious disease, which is Wheals disease, which I believe is hard to cure and hard to remedy. And it's in rat urine. But apart from that, as long as they don't come and harm you, I mean, they just run about and just ignore you, just like a lot of pigeons and sparrows do. You know, they're watching you all the time, they know what they're doing. But there are a lot of rats in Cambodia and in Kampot, I've noticed. I didn't see many in Siem Reap when I was in Siem Reap, but I've seen quite a few in Kampot. Anyway, that's by the by. We're not far from the river either, that's the other thing. But if you're squeamish about rats, etc., then just give it a miss. I suspect there are very few in other places, but there seems to be quite a lot here. Anyway, that's all for now. Bye. Anyway, the next thing on my dislike list is for Americans watching is critters, or other nationalities, insects, creepy crawlies, whatever. Because Cambodia is a hot country, there's a wet and a dry season, perfect for mosquitoes. It also houses loads of other critters. You don't see a lot of flies, but you do all sorts of other critters, big spiders and snakes, I believe, although I've not seen any. Anyway, mosquitoes are the main ones. As a general precaution, have available some antiseptic cream or whatever, such as Sudocrem or Savlon or something. Because if you break the skin scratching something, then you really need to protect it, stop anything getting into your bloodstream. You can't help it, it's a hot country. You're bound to have critters. Using Americanisms again. Oh my God. Anyway, that's it. Critters. At number 5 on my dislike list, I'm going to title Grumpy Expats. Now, we've all seen these people. These are people who complain about everything and anything. And you get them everywhere you go, any society. In your own country, wherever you're coming from, whatever you're doing, you just let them carry on, and they will moan. They'll always moan, whatever it is, anything and everything. You get them in Cambodia as well. Oh, it's like this, it's like that, it's like that. The only advice I can give is ignore them and use your own judgment. Remember the saying that bad news travels fast, and it probably does. And they're purveyors of bad news all the time normally. They will just moan about every little thing. If it doesn't suit them, if it does not like it's done in the West, then they're going to moan. Use your own judgment. That's all I can say. But that's number 5 on my dislikes. Okay, and the next part of this video will be the smile on my face because it's all about likes. Right, now on to the fun part of the video, the likes. My first like I'm going to title people. Despite what's happened to the Cambodians over the years since the French left and since Khmer Rouge and all those other things and bad things that have happened, it's a very, very poor country. The people are absolutely tremendous. They're a happy race. As far as I can tell, they're an honest race. And as far as I can tell, they're a very generous race. There's always a smile on their face. Don't be aggressive with them. Don't put them in a situation where they're going to lose face. And you should be fine. I can't fault the people. They've been so helpful in every way possible. I just can't fault them. Okay, that's all I have to say. I'm sure that you'll be quite amazed by the friendliness of the people here. Okay, we'll move on to the next bit in a minute. So, probably following on from my first like the people is the non-judgmental attitude of people. People in Cambodia, or the Cambodians, just get on with what they're getting on with. They don't look at people and judge them. Well, not that we know anyway, because we can't understand the freaking language, so they might be saying all sorts of silly things about us, but it doesn't matter. They don't show it. They're not disdainful about expats. We're welcomed with quite open arms, especially if you look at what's going on with the Americans mining the half the countryside, etc. Anyway, and they still put up with it. Great attitude. They just get on with life, and that's it. And they don't judge you, not openly anyway. That's all I can say. Well, number 3 on my list of likes is the affordability. And it's a personal thing, depends how much money you've got. I live over here I try and live on a somewhat reduced UK pension because I did take a lump sum out of it. But I'm bringing over about $1,000 and a bit, a few dollars a month. Average wage in Cambodia for a shop worker, say, is about $200 a month, depending on whereabouts you are. So really, I'm well in the frame at $1,000. Expats tend not to buy property because you can't actually buy a ground floor easily. You can if you marry a Cambodian girl, but if she leaves you, she just keeps the bloody property because it's going to be in her name. So the easiest thing to do is to rent. I mean, the place I'm renting at the moment is $180 a month plus, I don't know how much it's going to be, but let's say $40, $50 air conditioning, and that's it. That's $200 a month. That leaves me over $800 to spend on drink and food. If you want to live like a Westerner over here, you're going to pay Western prices. Sorry, but there it is, because it's all got to be imported. So it all costs. alcohol, local alcohol is cheap. The local beer, which is a lager beer, there's no real ale in Cambodia, is cheap. I mean, the pounds of mint actually is next to a brewery outlet, so I'm buying probably at a trade price. I've just bought 24 cans of Cambodian beer at 4% or something like that for $10. So what's that? Flipping heck. It's for nothing, isn't it? And that's fine. Food-wise, I tend to mix my food. I eat some Western, some Khmer, and occasionally some Indian. Because there's a very good Indian in Kampot. There may be more than one, but there's one I go to which is quite nice. I'm not going to tell you the name, you can look it up yourself. You can look for Indians in Kampot. But I don't have any money worries. The last thing I want is stress. If I was in the UK trying to live off a pension now, in the UK, I would be struggling. I would be counting every penny, watching every penny. Here I don't need to. There's money there. It's available. Alcohol, as I say, local alcohol and local spirits are relatively cheap. Imported spirits, Western spirits, and wines are relatively expensive. Only relatively. Still as cheap as chips as they are back home. So, because I don't think there's any duty on these in Cambodia. Not as yet, anyway. They'll probably introduce it now if they watch this video. Anyway, but there it is. There's one thing I just want to warn you about as regards alcohol while we're here. If you do get invited to a function or anything, and they're going to try and supply you with locally distilled alcohol made from distilled rice, wine or whatever, be very, very careful. The Cambodians are not the greatest chemists in the world. I've got a degree in chemistry and I have distilled alcohol in the past, but we always threw about the first 10% of it away because it contains a lot of methanol. And despite what you think, you will brew methanol accidentally, and it will be there, and it's the first thing that comes off. So chuck it away. There are tests you can do, but I'm not sure that you can't do them. Just be careful of the source of this alcohol. If possible, drink branded alcohol. That's all I can say. Anyway, how much you spend on yourself is up to you, but you'll find it's very, very affordable, and you can live. There's people living in under $400, $500 a month here. I mean, flipping heck, that's nothing, is it? Anyway, see you in the next bit. Right. So the next bit of the video about likes is the lack of road rage. I mean, when you get to Cambodia, you'll think the way they use the roads is absolutely mad. The nearest analogy I can think of is walking on a street in London, on a busy street, where people just walk wherever they want but don't bump into each other. And it seems to be the same in Cambodia with the motorbikes, or the motor scooters, motors we'll call them. I think the outnumbering cars about 6-1 anyway, possibly more, I don't know. Anyway, whatever. But as long as you don't deviate, they'll go around you. They've got the faster mode of transport, they'll just go around you. So the thing to do is not hesitate, don't stop, just cross. But you never ever see any road rage. And from a personal point of view, I wouldn't entertain a car in Cambodia, because I don't think half of the motorbikes are insured anyway, so you're not going to get anywhere. Anyway, but that's it. But I quite like the lack of road rage. You just walk across the road, the motorbikes will avoid you. Don't stop, just keep going. They're watching you all the time, and they're going to get round you. Don't hesitate. It's the worst thing you can do, and that's me. Bye. Right. Like number 5 is the weather. This could actually be a pro or a con, I'm not sure. For me it's a pro. I think as we get older we hate the cold more and more. I'm not sure. Anyway, I do. So to me it's a pro. So it's a like. The weather in Cambodia, yearly average is about 31 degrees. It does get hot. And whereas in England or the UK or certain parts of the Western world, you need heating in winter, you need AC in winter here. Air conditioning. It can get really, really hot in winter. We're near the equator. Tied in with that, of course, is the lack of daylight. It's roughly 12 hours. 6 till 6 here. 6 in the morning till 6 in the evening. The daylight hours. So we miss those balmy nights in the UK where you've got 16 hours of sunshine in June or 16 hours of daylight in June. You don't get that here. But at least it's constant and the temperature's pretty constant. It varies from 30 upwards. Sometimes it gets a little bit warm and uncomfortable, but especially in the midday sun. You know, Mad Dogs and Englishmen and all that lot. Anyway, so don't do it. But I do like the weather. But if you don't like the weather, then it's a con, isn't it? It's a dislike. Anyway, I like the weather, so that's all that matters what I like. Okay.
Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. You can like, subscribe, if you don't mind. I'm not taking any money out of this. I'm up to about 460 subscribers at the moment. We're at the 1st of March now. If you subscribe, you'll get notification of my new video. I'll try and do one every 2 or 3 days, but sometimes it's longer. And the trouble here is, at the moment is it's hot. So doing anything really is not the greatest time of year to do it. In the cooler months it's a bit easier, but it's only a few degrees cooler, not a lot. Anyway, if you like the video, please subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, not a subscription. If you don't like the video, you can unsubscribe. It doesn't make any difference to anything. But if you do like it and you want others to see it, then like it, subscribe. That's all I ask, nothing more. Not forcing you. Some people are very, very forceful on this. I'm not. You know what the deal is, and that's it. If you liked it, subscribe. It helps Cambodian children. It doesn't help me. But it's just nice to do that. And it's an archive from me anyway. Okay, bye-bye now.